I just wanted to come on here and say that your parents, teachers, mentors, bosses, any authority that you can think of, anyone at all in your life that you know has a title of authority over you, I just want to say they are not higher than you. They're not higher than you. They are equal to you. The amount of knowledge or age or position or rank that you and someone else share does not determine whether you are equal to someone or not. So, when someone tells you that you're supposed to obey authority, submit to authority, even when you know they're the one in the wrong, it is not your job. It is not your job to submit. It's not your job to be humble. It's not your job to be sweet and kind and, oh, woe is me. You know, but people teach, well, some people teach, especially when you're growing up and you have people telling you not to talk back when you didn't even say anything disrespectful. It's annoying, it really is. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and say that because I felt like I had to. And it can be really hard when you're taught all the time that disobedience is wrong, when really it's not. It's the same thing as selfishness. The same word as selfishness. Like, selfishness isn't a wrong thing, because selfishness simply means you're doing something for yourself in replacement of doing something for someone else. Just like selflessness is doing something for someone else in replacement of yourself. It doesn't hurt to be selfish sometimes, and it doesn't hurt to be selfless sometimes. So when it comes to disobedience is simply the act of resisting what you're being asked to do or told to do by another authority figure. And depending on what they're asking you to do, you can disobey. You can. Or when someone's talking to you and they say something or accuse you of something or make a statement that you did something, you're allowed to speak up for yourself, fix what they say, and say, oh no, I didn't do that. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. And the moment they tell you, don't talk back to me, you already know what kind of person they are. Someone who tries to control you or feel like they have more power than you, don't listen to you, I feel like they may want to listen to you sometimes. They may want to hear you sometimes. They may want to feel like they give you at least some amount of freedom, but there's still a part of them that has a lot of ego. And then they switch it around onto you and they make it seem like you standing up for yourself is pride and ego, when really all they're doing is reflecting their own pride and ego that they have within them. Parents, bosses, people with higher titles who act like that are probably narcissistic, hypocritical, or projecting. Because of the things that happen to them, they now do to you, or they feel like they can just say whatever just because they clothe you, feed you, take care of you, give you your check, hire you, as if those things aren't already supposed to be done when they're in the position that they are in. Because there's a difference between being generous and doing what you're supposed to do. And when you say Or when you're trying to say something and they swallow it up, one ear out the other, flip it around, mix it up, and they make it seem like you're being disrespectful when actually you clocked something. And instead of them listening to you, they have this big ego, this big pride. And it's like, even though they're doing it in a subtle, calm way, underneath all of that, it's still big. Lying or trying to make you feel guilty about something that you clearly didn't mean. Sometimes they do it on purpose and others do it on accident because of the toxic things that they've already told themselves and have ingrained in their mind. Especially when they do something to hurt you and they decide to shut you down. And then once you actually lose it and you shut down on them, they end up accusing you of ignoring them, not forgiving them, as if that's an easy thing to do, you know? And I want to get into that too, forgiveness. In this lifetime, let me take a bite of this cookie before I say this. In this lifetime, you don't have to forgive everybody. And I know that some people are taught that you do, but you don't. When some people think of forgiveness, they think of letting someone back in your life. When I think of forgiveness, I think of not focusing so much on what the freak am I saying? Okay, is that a word? I feel like I'm saying it right, I don't know. Resistment, and but you don't. I definitely believe in not holding on to anger, but when you see them in real life and you get angry, it's completely normal. I'm so tired. Not to mention, forgiveness is just a word with feelings that go beyond meaning. Just like all of these other words, they all have some kind of meaning to it online and in the dictionary. But everything that we feel, it's a mix of different things, a level of different things. Just like love, it's not all the same. Platonic love, romantic love, you get my drift. But yeah, when they do that, it's hurtful and it's abusive. It's just not worth your time trying to explain yourself when there's someone who is mentally stubborn, especially the religious people. And I'm not talking about people who are in religion or in a religion. I'm talking about people who are religious, People who have already had an idea in their mind to the point where no matter how much research they hear, or if they still believe in their limited false knowledge that they've been taught to believe, then they won't try to hear you, or they'll shut down immediately. And then the ones who are like, oh, okay, I'll look into that, they already have in their mind, I'm just looking into this. I'm not actually going to believe any of this. So they already have in their mind that they're shutting it out before they even get to read it. It's just like, sometimes it's not worth talking anymore. And this is something I used to struggle with. And even now, recently, the last 3 weeks, I've been struggling with this much more than I used to. Just not talking back. I know people are told a lot not to talk back. And it gets to a point where you feel like you're being ignored. You feel like you're being cut off, shut out. You feel like your throat is in chains, literally. You feel like the Little Mermaid and she's trying to scream for help and she can't because she done sold her voice to Ursula. But like, you get what I'm saying? That's what it feels like. So I feel like sometimes I have to say something back, but it gets to a point where I get so tired, or you get so tired, and it's just not worth it. Because what they're looking for is a back and forth. And they may say they're not. They may say that you're the one starting it, when really, all you're doing is trying to explain something. And they say stuff like, I don't need your explanation. I don't need your excuses. That's another thing. Excuses? I feel like people use that word way too much because a lot of the time, something is not an excuse, it's just an explanation. But I feel like people's emotions suddenly get the best of them, and that's why they start bringing up the word excuse a lot. But, yeah. When it's someone you know won't hear you, or at least try to understand you, it's not worth talking anymore. It's like, please don't waste your breath. Sometimes silence really is stronger than words. And if they keep talking and you're silent, they're probably going to try to pick at you and find more stuff to say to try to get you to argue back. And at this point, I'd probably just mumble under my breath. But even then, I can hear in the back of my mind, stop that mumbling. But like, even if it's them actually trying to explain themselves while you're giving them a moment to speak, it's still possible and reasonable that you should not continue to engage. It's because some people don't even know that they're being narcissistic or gaslighting. It's just a natural thing to them. And when they do realize it, they either get better with themselves or they defend it by thinking of things you did wrong towards them. And doing stuff for you, doing favors for you. It's not an invite for them to disrespect you or your boundaries. It's not an invite for them to make you feel less than. You know, when it comes to parents for some reason think that the way they were treated when they were young is okay. And they think that them not treating you like that is generous. It's not. Whenever I hear, I wasn't treated like this when I was young, I would have got hit across my face, I don't think to myself, I'm so lucky. I think to myself, I feel so sad for them. I feel so sad for them to the point where I just think it's sad that they have to say that. Because it's like, do you think it was okay when that happened to you? I mean, look how you turned out now. And when it comes to bosses, you know, the only thing keeping them at a higher confidence is not them just being your boss, but them having money. Them having more control, having more power, authority. There's some good bosses out there, but I'm talking about the authority figures who are narcissistic, hypocritical, gaslighting, you know what I'm talking about. Even husbands, wives, boyfriends, significant others, teachers, principals, presidents. Let's not forget about our president. Our current one, he needs to go. But anyway, it's just, I feel like sometimes I and others can't even accept things anymore from certain people or ask things from people out of fear or anxiety or hesitation, which comes from people manipulating you with the I did this for you card. And it makes you feel like you're just an ungrateful brat, or it really makes you feel like you want to learn to support yourself, so you don't have to go back to hearing that same thing from those same people that treated you that same way. Especially, it hurts to have people you love, and because of their actions or their morals, you have to take a step back out of that social bubble. And it especially hurts when your connection is still there. Like, when you have for example, a parent and their child, especially if you birth that child, your love for them is there and it exists, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. Your love for them is deep down somewhere. But because of your resistance, because of how your child is turning out, your connection is being lost to them. And then that parent It's like, oh, I miss my child. I miss connecting to my child. But it's like, baby, you're doing that to yourself. You know? You're doing that to yourself. But, yeah, it's just, when you have an abusive ex, it can be hard to get away because you love them so much. But sometimes you still have to do it because it is the right thing to do. Taking back your energy is the right thing to do. You know? Maybe it's not even someone you love, but someone you work for. They shouldn't invalidate you because I'm telling you right now, the only thing holding their confidence up is that title. And let me tell you something about titles. They're fake. Titles are just words and names to help describe what you are, what your job is, what your position is in a family. You know, wife, husband, lover, ex, divorcee, fiance, boss, waiter. They're titles. They're just titles. But I'm telling you one thing, there's all one title. All of us have one title in common. It's called human being. And I'm telling you right now, us against a tornado, without a house, without a building, without a car, without any kind of structure to help us. Let's say we put you and your boss, or you and your parent, in a lion's den. Honey, both of y'all are getting eaten. Both of y'all. It's a title. They can't do crap. They can't do nothing. We're both still human, right? So, and then suddenly when you stand up for yourself, even if you do it in the most respectful way possible, they say you're being disrespectful, they threaten you, or they punish you, or fire you, break up with you, divorce you, doing something in general, or threatening you to do something in general that isn't something you'd want. It's manipulation and it's projecting. When you set your own boundaries in your mind and they're constantly being hit at, you better keep blocking those hits, because you can either allow those boundaries to break down and let in whatever, even if it hurts, or you can continue to build these boundaries up. Just remember, boundaries are not shields or a list of rules. They're just warnings of what you don't appreciate or like, or when people keep pushing that boundary. You're allowed to cut them off, hon. And if you can't support yourself, you know, it doesn't mean cut them off verbally, but mentally, you can cut them off. You not being so open to them could be a reaction or an effect of something they did to you. And when someone says they love you, or they love the way you work, whether it be family, a lover, work partner, boss, again, anyone who thinks they have authority over you, it's not an open door for them disrespecting you or disregarding you, and it's not fair. Especially when you're just trying to explain something to them. I'm sorry, that irks my nerves. When you're trying to explain something and they're like, don't talk back to me. Like, you're really trying me, because I will go into an argument with you. I've almost gotten in trouble so many times because I've almost gotten into an argument. But I feel like I still like that part about me, because, you know, I'm not one to shut up unless I know it's time to shut up. And them telling me to shut up or else I'm going to get in trouble is not a sign that it's time for me to shut up. When it's time for me to shut up, it's when I'm tired, my energy's being drained, and it's like, oh, okay, you're an energy vampire. They're sucking your energy. It's selfishness. And you know what else is selfish? When you say you don't want to share something with someone. You want to keep a secret. It's not just selfish, but it's protective. It's precautious. And let me tell you, there's nothing wrong with being selfish. When you don't want to do something because it could affect you or get you called selfish or rude and get you in trouble, and it's not actually something that's wrong, it's manipulation, and they really want to make you feel bad because they really want to know. Now, if there's a homeless person on the street asking for money, and you kindly decline because, you have your own bills to take care of, you have your own stuff to take care of, and suddenly you hear a little voice beside you in the car saying, "Oh, that's not nice, that's so selfish." I'm sorry. Did you go to the homeless person and say, "Ew, you're so nasty," and not give them money? Or did you go to them and say, "I'm sorry, I don't really have it right now, I have my own things to take care of"? It's not their place to call you selfish. Are they paying your bills? Please understand, it's not fair. I was such in a soppy mood the other night because of this whole thing that happened. So I just felt like I had to come on here and share this, because why not? I don't really even understand where I'm getting at this. I just know it's based off of manipulation, equality, gaslighting, authoritation, I don't know. But there's nothing wrong with holding authority as long as you aren't abusing that power, If you aren't in the position to support yourself, the best thing to do is keep doing you and disregard the negative things that they say. Because, honey, I know you know that it's not true. Even if it hurts, if you are in this position to support yourself and you have others that'll help you, baby, separate yourself from them. And let's talk about the husbands too, and the wives. I'm not sexist, so I know that there are a lot of things that go on with men, but it doesn't erase that women do the same thing. But I don't even know why I'm saying men and women, because again, they're just titles. So I'm going to say people in general. So yeah, people in general who love you, and they use their love and your love for them to manipulate you, make you feel bad about choosing something in your life that doesn't affect them, doesn't affect you. For example, religion. You leave your religion and someone you love is crying, boo-hoo crying over here. All of that crap, just falling out all over the floor. Because they're scared you're going to die and go to hell. Now, let me tell you something. It's not affecting them in this world. If you are not physically hurting someone, you're fine. Now, emotionally, if you're hurting someone, but you're hurting them unintentionally, if you choose a life for yourself and it hurts someone and they get hurt, it's not your fault. And yes, of course, you have the ability and you have the choice to feel empathy for them, but it's not your, oh my gosh, it's not your part, it's not your time, it's not your position, it's not your turn to feel bad. But yeah, basically that's all I wanted to say for this video, and I really hope that this reaches some of you. I really hope this helps some of you, because getting this out helps me. And again, this isn't a channel just for poetry, it's a channel for advice. A bunch of boohoo nonsense with a little bit of spice and intelligence advice. A little bit of gibberish here, cutoffs there, stutters there, stutters here, But, and if you heard that loud noise in the background, I'm sorry. But it's gone now. But, yeah. So I hope this helped. But yeah, bye.